There are many benefits to submitting your immigration form online with USCIS. You can use your online account to check the status of your applications, view appointment notices, respond to requests for evidence, and receive decision notices about your case. In this video, we will show you how to apply for naturalization by submitting Form N-400, Application for Naturalization, online. We will also explain how to upload evidence, pay for your application, and track your case after you submit it. Your first step is making sure you are ready to file your application for naturalization. The Online Citizenship Resource Center has helpful information and free study materials. You can find this at uscis.gov/citizenship. In the Apply for Citizenship tab, you will find links to free information sessions and where to find help in your community. Many community organizations and social service providers offer citizenship classes and assistance with the naturalization process. Classes are often held in the evenings and on weekends. In many cases, these programs provide additional support and referral services as well. There is also a guide of what to expect in your naturalization process, including a checklist of documents you might need. You can use this list to get things ready before you begin your online application. You can find this guide at the address you see on the screen. When you are ready, you can either sign into your existing USCIS online account or create a new one. To learn more about creating an account, visit uscis.gov/file-online. Be sure to check out the How to Create a USCIS Online Account video on our YouTube channel if you need help. Once you have an online account, sign in to get started on your application. When you access your account for the first time, you will see this page. You can select My USCIS to begin working on your form. The USCIS online account also supports other services you may want to explore, including FIRST, where you can submit Freedom of Information Act requests online, and My E-Verify, where you can check your work authorization status. To begin filing your Form N-400, you'll choose Go to My USCIS. On this screen, select File a Form Online. Select N-400 Application for Naturalization, and then Start Form. After selecting the N-400, you will be given the option to answer some questions that will help you determine your eligibility to apply for citizenship. If you are already confident you are eligible, you can proceed directly to the application. If you still need to determine your eligibility for citizenship, you will need to answer a series of questions. If you determine you are able to apply for citizenship, you may now go to the online Form N-400. You will see this form overview page that describes what to expect from online filing. On the first page is this menu that describes several different bases for filing an application for naturalization. A basis for filing describes how an applicant is eligible for naturalization. For example, an applicant may be eligible based upon residing in the U.S. as a lawful permanent resident for at least 5 years. We call that the general provision. An applicant may also be eligible based on marriage to a U.S. citizen or through service in the armed forces of the United States or some other way. There are also helpful notes about some of the requirements for naturalization, such as physical presence requirements, good moral character, the civics and English language testing, and the oath of allegiance. You can read these to learn more. Depending on your situation, you may need to enter details about your family, including dates of birth. If you are applying based on your marriage to a U.S. citizen, you will need to enter your date of marriage and the date your spouse became a U.S. citizen. You will also be asked to enter your address history, school and work history, and dates you traveled outside the United States. Filling out your application will go more smoothly if you have dates ready and documents scanned before you start your form. You do not have to complete your form in one session. You can log off, return to your online account later, and your draft will be there. The system will save your form for 30 days. If you do not log in and make at least one edit in 30 days, the form will be deleted. Every time you log in and make an edit, the 30-day clock is reset. If you do have to log off, when you return to your form, you will see this case card that shows you have an unfinished draft. You can resume working on your form by selecting Continue. You will be brought to the first page, and from there, you can navigate to where you left off. We organize our online forms into sections to make them clear and easy to navigate. One key feature of our online forms is what we call the left rail. On the left rail shown here, you can see that there are 7 sections in the online N400. This is how the form is indexed. As you move through the form, the sections will expand and collapse. You can use the left rail to see the sections you have completed, the questions you are currently working on, and what is still ahead. When you fill out the form, we recommend that you follow the form's automated prompts and sequence. They will guide you through the form in the right order. However, if you do need to skip a question and come back to it later, you can easily return to those questions by using the left rail. Another helpful feature is what we call conditional logic. The online form asks you questions about your basis of eligibility and then tailors the rest of the form based on your answers. For example, one question asks, "Have you used any other names since birth?" If you answer yes to this question, the form will ask you to provide the other names you have used. If you answer no, you will be directed to the next question. There is one other helpful feature you should know about. When you complete a form in the USCIS Online Account, some of the information the form asks for is required, and you can't submit the form without providing it. Other information is requested, and you can provide it or not. To help you with this, a color-coded alert, blue, yellow, red, or green, will tell you what you need to know and any action you need to take. Blue alerts are there to guide you. A red alert will appear when you do not include required information. In that case, you won't be able to submit the form without first correcting or providing the information. A yellow alert will appear when information is requested, but it isn't required to submit the form. When a yellow alert appears, it is usually in a place where more information would be better. If you don't provide all the information requested, it could slow the processing of your application. We encourage you to review yellow alerts carefully before moving forward. A green alert means everything uploaded properly or was submitted successfully or was accepted. Let's begin filling out the form. For this demonstration, I'm going to select General Provision for the basis of eligibility. If you have questions about this or anything else related to the requirements for citizenship, be sure to use the resources we covered at the beginning of this demonstration. It is important to answer each question fully and truthfully to the best of your knowledge. Try to provide answers to every question. If you leave some blank, you might get a yellow alert prompting you to review that question or a red alert if the information is required. In the About You, you will answer questions about your name and contact information. You will be asked if you need an accommodation, like a sign language interpreter, or if you are blind or have low vision or need wheelchair access. You might qualify for an exemption from the English language requirement. Based on your age and number of years as a lawful permanent resident, There is no space for this on the online form. The system will review your application, and if you qualify for the exemption, it will be noted, and the officer who adjudicates the case will ask you about it. There are also exceptions to the continuous residence requirement and modifications available for certain parts of the Oath of Allegiance. Read the information on our website if you think any of these apply to you. You can find more information at uscis.gov/citizenship/exceptions-and-accommodations. You will be asked about your family, specifically if you are married or have children. If you indicate that you are married, the system will ask if your spouse is a member of the Armed Forces of the United States, but will not ask for the name or any other information about your spouse. This is an example of the conditional logic of the form that I showed you earlier. I'll show you another example as we move ahead. If your basis of eligibility is spouse of a U.S. citizen, you will be asked more questions about your spouse. Your spouse's name, date of birth, the date of your marriage, how your spouse acquired their citizenship, their A number if they have one, and how many marriages they have had. Being prepared with this information before you log into your account and start the form will make online filing easier for you. Let's return to the application based on the general provision. If you previously used your online account to submit a form, you can find your account number in your profile settings. If this is a new online account, you will not have an account number until after you submit a form online, and you would indicate here that you do not have or know your account number. This field is optional. As an applicant for naturalization, you must show that you have been and continue to be a person of good moral character. We refer to this as GMC. When filing under the general provision, you must demonstrate GMC during the 5-year period immediately preceding your application for naturalization and up to the time you take the oath of allegiance. Your answers in this section will help determine whether you meet the standards for GMC. The conditional logic of the form will determine how many questions you have to answer. For example, if you indicate that you have been arrested, immediately there are more fields that you have to fill in. You will be asked things about the crime, when and where it happened, and what the disposition was. You will also see in the evidence section that many documents have been added relating to the questions that you answered yes to. The evidence requirements will change as you fill out the form. We encourage you to upload all the evidence that you can at the time of your initial filing. However, USCIS may also accept documents that you provide at your interview. Use your best judgment. We'll take a closer look at evidence next. The evidence section is where you will upload documents to support your application. Let's take a look at this section, then go over file requirements. You will be asked to provide specific documents based on your answers in the application. These help USCIS confirm your answers and satisfy requirements, such as providing proof of tax payments, child support, court appearances, and other actions as they relate to your specific situation. You will see 2 sections. Some particular types of evidence are listed, such as your permanent resident card. There is also a section for additional evidence you want to provide. You can upload documents from your computer, phone, or tablet. If you do not provide the requested evidence to support your application, you will see a warning. We strongly encourage you to review these yellow alerts carefully to make sure they do not apply to you before you move on. Please take note of the file requirements. You can find them on the evidence page above the uploader. Make sure all text is clear and readable. Accepted file formats are listed. Documents saved in Word cannot be uploaded unless you convert them to PDF or another file type in the list. Give your documents a short, descriptive name. For example, if you are uploading a court document, you could label it Court Doc. Use only English language characters. Most special characters are not allowed. Password-protected or encrypted files will not be accepted. If your documents are in a language other than English, upload an English translation along with the original documents and the translator's certification. You may upload as many documents as you need to, but no more than 5 at a time. The maximum file size is 12 megabytes per file. You can upload 5 documents at a time, then 5 more, until you have uploaded everything you need. You can go heading by heading when uploading evidence. In this example, I uploaded a marriage certificate. What if you have evidence to submit, but you aren't sure which category it goes in, or there isn't a heading that is specific to what you want to provide? That is when you will want to use the Additional Evidence You Want to Provide section. You can upload evidence here that has no clear category. It is very important for you to label the document with a descriptive name. In the list of evidence in the system, it will be under Other Documents. Maybe you want to say something extra about one or more of the questions, but you don't want to upload an entire document about it. That is where you can use the Additional Information. You can leave a note, 500 characters or less, about any section of the application. Use the drop-down menus to indicate which question you would like to tell us more about. You can post notes on as many of the questions in the form as you'd like. When you enter additional information like this, it appears on the last page of the application as an addendum. It does not populate the section where the question occurs in the form. The last section is Review and Submit. The system will let you know with an alert if there is something in the application that needs your attention. In this example, there is a red alert letting you know that there is an error in the About You section. You can click on the blue Edit My Responses and you will be taken to the section where you need to make a correction. The place that needs your attention will be highlighted in red. After you fill in the information, you can return to the Review section by using the left rail. If your correction was satisfactory, you will see a green alert letting you know that you can proceed. You can now review your draft form. There are 3 ways to do that. You can view the summary by scrolling through this page. You can also view Draft Snapshot to access a PDF version. This PDF will look like the paper form, but it will have a watermark that indicates it is an electronic file copy. Your third option is to print a copy of the PDF version for your records. At this point, you can still use the left rail to go back, add information, or make corrections. The summary will update every time you do that. This is not your last chance to save a copy. You will also be able to download a PDF of the form after you have finished submitting and paying. When you are satisfied with your application, you can scroll to the bottom of the review page and select Next. Before submitting your application, you must read and agree to the applicant's certification and signature. It is important that you read and understand the statement. Take your time. After you check the box acknowledging the statement, a new field will appear for your signature. You provide that by typing in your full legal name. Now you are ready to pay for and submit your application. When you select Pay and Submit, you will be redirected to pay.gov, a secure government website that is managed by the U.S. Department of the Treasury. Pay.gov accepts debit cards, credit cards, and U.S. bank account information. While you are on Pay.gov, you will be given a transaction number. You may want to save this because USCIS does not give you a receipt for payment. Pay.gov will email you confirming your payments to the email address associated with your online account. After you pay, your case will be submitted. You can return to your homepage to check the status of your application. You will find a case card for your submitted form on the homepage of your account. You will see an estimated time to completion, as well as case status, case history, and documents. Please keep in mind that this processing time is an estimate. The Documents tab is where you will find all notices USCIS issues for your case, including the receipt notice, appointment notices, and interview and oath ceremony notices. You will also see the evidence you submitted. If you need to upload additional evidence that you were unable to provide when you submitted your form, you can do it here by selecting Upload Evidence at the bottom of the page. This is the Unsolicited Evidence section. If you choose to upload evidence here, the system will offer you some tags to organize it, but you should always save your files with a descriptive name. Case status shows you the actions taken in your case. It is also where you will see any messages sent from USCIS related to this application. If we need additional information from you, we will issue a request for evidence. You should respond to a request for evidence using your online account. You can view the notice in your Documents tab. Select Respond to Notice. You will be taken to a page to upload your evidence. Choose a file, then select Category. When you filled out the N400, you were able to upload an unlimited number of evidence, 5 documents at a time. When you respond to an RFE, you can only perform one upload of 5 documents. We'll show you how to upload more if you have more than 5. You will be asked to confirm that you want to submit your response. You will receive confirmation that your documents were submitted. The RFE window is now closed, and you won't be able to respond to that specific request again. However, if you have more evidence to upload, you can do that in the Documents tab on the case card. Select Upload Evidence under the Unsolicited Evidence category and upload it as we've done in other examples. The system will offer a drop-down menu of helpful labels for your evidence. If this is more evidence for the RFE, you can select RFE Response from the drop-down. You can upload as much evidence as you need to this way. Now you know what to expect when filing the N400 application online and can see the benefits of having a USCIS online account. You can be confident that submitting your form online is an effective way to submit your application to USCIS. We look forward to working with you on your immigration journey. Start today by visiting uscis.gov/file-online. The purpose of this video is to help applicants submit their applications using the USCIS Online Account. This video is for information purposes only and to demonstrate the process for completing online filing.